or WordPress e-commerce site. So that's that. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I mean, PCI, I tried to liven it up. I'll be honest, I was watching just a couple webinars on some people that did PCI online, and this is how they talked. They talked that PCI is awesome. If you do PCI, you will be okay. Now, I don't know about you, but that put me to sleep. So I try to take a little bit different spin with it, maybe use something that's a little bit more useful to you. And was something that I got value out of, because you know what? It was confusing to me when I first started looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, how does this affect me? So hopefully that was helpful. Now, we're going to roll right into the pro tip of the week. And this one is one that is near and dear to my heart. And it's something that it's a little bit off the WordPress theme. It's a little bit different. But basically is web cameras. And you're going, huh? What? Well, guess what? You all use a web camera, or probably in your laptop, whether it's a Mac, Windows, Linux. You may even have one that you connect in, whatever it may be. There's web cameras everywhere, right? I'm looking at one right now as I'm recording this podcast. It's sticking right in the face. These cameras and microphones that are usually tied in with these cameras are listening and watching everything, okay? So out of a Disney movie, just everything, right? Big, long, drawn-out word. They're watching everything. So what do you do? Okay, what does that mean? Well, you can still use them, but I mean, the point is that you need to protect yourself. And in a previous life, we'd used, I would turn on a webcam without the person knowing about it, and you can get into the BIOS, or the real down the weeds firmware for that camera, and you can turn the little light off. Ideally, there's a little light that comes on when the camera comes on to go, hey, stupid, I'm watching you. That's ideally the situation you want. However, you could turn that off. So it doesn't mean that just because that light's not on, it's not on. Well, it could be still on. Been there, done that. So something for you to consider. Which, if that's the case, you want to make sure you point the camera up to the sky. If you don't want people looking at you, if you're picking your nose or something like that, you want to point it up to the sky. If you don't, then potentially you could turn on and look right at you. If you care, great. If you don't care, whatever. But this can be a problem, especially if you have a laptop in your bedroom or a place that you change your clothes. Guess what? They can turn these things on, and then they have a peep show going on. So I've got teenage daughters. I tell them I don't let them have a computer in their room. And when they're off to college, I definitely don't let them have it in. I tell them, if you're getting ready in the day, make sure you shut the lid on your computer. Okay? Tape over the lens and the microphone. There's also a thing that you can put, they call it a null, November Uniform Lima null plug. And you can put this into your microphone jack. And what it does is, once the computer senses that there's something in that jack, it will turn off the microphone on your system. And therefore, then it turns the microphone that's built into your laptop off. Okay. Smart TVs. These are going to be interesting. Actually, I just listened to a podcast from the SANS Internet Storm Center. It's a really good podcast on security. They had an interesting point about smart TVs being hacked and malware being put on them that encrypts them. So now they're encrypted, you can't use them. So that's kind of interesting. So smart TVs they have cameras, they've got sensors, they've got microphones, all that stuff's built into them. So just keep that in mind. If you're in the room and you're not using the camera, unplug it. Okay, there's no reason to have it installed. So just something to consider with that. The bag option, this is funny. Yes, and you may laugh, but put a bag over it, right? We've had that where you can't, say you've got a webcam that it's big, it's a monster one, maybe it's in a conference room and you can't move it or unplug it. Just put a bag over it. Easy enough. There's not much to it. And the microphone still may be on and the camera may be monitoring, but if it's just got this black bag, it's not as big a deal. Close the lid and flip it over. That's the other thing. Just close your lid. That works very, very well. And the one thing to think about is also with phones. I mean, these phones are little personal recording devices. You're taking them with you. Just keep that in mind. Just if you don't want someone to hear what you're saying, don't have your phone with you, because there's nothing saying they can't potentially turn that on, depending upon what you downloaded to your phone.